hanging with the famous people.
Well, I do what I can, but I am here for you because what is going on with the Trump administration? Shocking that it took them so long to move on Michael Flynn. What are your thoughts as you?
My thoughts are that it's not shocking because of what a mess the White House is right now, and the fact that what we have been reporting on and have been known now for the last few weeks, that there are two very clear factions within the White House. On one hand, you have Steve Bannon, Jared Kushner, and Kellyanne Conway. These are people that have really very limited experience in politics and in Washington, D.C. And then on the other hand, you have Reince Priebus, Sean Spicer, and Vice President Mike Pence. Those two factions are not working together. They're not talking to each other. They're almost running parallel press operations. And from a counseling the president standpoint, clearly the president has been favoring the Bannon, Conway, and Kushner side in hopes that this Michael Flynn thing would just blow over. And obviously the president has a certain level of arrogance, to say the least, that he thought, well, the heck with it. Who cares if Flynn was talking with the Russians? It's my presidency, it's my White House, and this is the guy I want, so I'm going to let it go as long as possible. The one positive that comes out of this, though, is that Donald Trump finally did listen to someone that knows what he's doing, and that he listened to Vice President Pence, who was responsible for saying, you have got to get rid of this guy.
So that's reading the tea leaves. Pence went into Trump and said Michael Flynn has to be cut loose.
Yeah, I mean, and Trump, to Trump's credit, has a huge amount of respect for Michael Pence, the vice president, and he has to and needs to, because Donald Trump knows that he cannot do this job at all. Clearly, he's not doing a great job of it right now, but he cannot do this job at all going forward without Mike Pence, who knows how to navigate things in this town, knows how to navigate Capitol Hill, knows how to approach an administrative position like this. Obviously, Mike Pence has been in Washington for a little while, but he also was a governor of Indiana and is well respected in town, and frankly has even more credibility with the media and with the people that influence the media. So yes, he finally listened to Mike Pence, and Mike Pence said, enough is enough. You can't just have it the way you want. This guy has to go. And I also think Mike Pence, frankly, is hearing from, frankly, a lot of us Republicans in town who do think that this Russia situation is bigger than we have heard to this point, and is the type of thing that could have a lot of Republicans against Trump in some type of impeachment proceeding if it came to that.
Well, that leads to my next question. Is this over with, or do we believe that the White House was told by the Justice Department or the FBI weeks ago that your national security advisor might be compromised, and we're only learning about it weeks later thanks to leaks from major news organizations?
It is 100% confirmed at this point that they knew and were advised by the Justice Department weeks ago. And those people who were advised clearly sat on it for a little while, did not tell Vice President Pence right away, because if they did, I think he would have raised hell at the time, and hopes that that Trump's loyalty to Flynn and all of that stuff would that it would either go away and that they could keep things as they were. I think that this administration's relationship with Russia is something that everyone should be very concerned with. I think it runs deeper than we know right now. I think there is more that we are going to find out about this. I think that it has a lot of Republicans on edge. There are Republicans that already were having trouble kind of defending this administration on a lot of issues, and how he's chosen to roll these things out. It's not that the policy's been bad, it's how he has approached rolling out the policy. But I will tell you, this Russia situation is the one that scares them the most. Russia is, Putin and the Russians right now have never been happier because of how much relevance that they have in America right now.
One of the names being floated is David Petraeus. That's just, they can't put David Petraeus in that role after pleading guilty to handing secure documents to his girlfriend for the biography. Can they?
Well, it would certainly be ironic, but it would also be hypocritical, to your point, because of everything that Trump said on the campaign trail about Hillary Clinton and playing loose with classified information. On the other hand, there are a lot of people in town and on both sides of the aisle that like David Petraeus in terms of, the mistake he made aside, certainly not defendable. They're looking at, well, okay, who's the most qualified and the best person for the job right now, and who can advise a very inexperienced president that really is not approaching this national security role of commander-in-chief to this point in a serious manner, it seems. Who's the best person to advise him on that standpoint? And I think a lot of people think he would be a good choice from there.
Do you think Republicans investigate this in Congress, this Michael Flynn story, or do you think this is the end of it?
I don't think the Republicans will start to investigate it, but I think that they might be put in a situation where it ultimately leads to a bigger investigation and hearings about the administration's past and current relationships with Russia, so that it either they either find out more and then who knows what happens. It could be even more dramatic than we even think, like leading to some type of impeachment proceeding down the road, or it could be that they just want to go through it and get it done so that they can kind of close this and move forward. But I do not think we've heard the end of it. I think that the media is certainly going to continue to be looking into this more. I think the Russians are going to have every reason to keep feeding this story and this narrative as much as possible as well, because again, they've never had so much relevance in recent years in the U.S. They love this. They love the uncertainty that is developing from this, and it's exactly what Vladimir Putin is known for, as particularly with his background, is trying to play other nations' leaders like they're a puppet.
Trey Hardin, ABC News political analyst. Thanks for helping us read the tea leaves. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
628, Big 550, KTRS. Let me tell you about Ted Drewes, because Ted Drewes, it's interesting that Ted Drewes has just been given, from the World Ice Cream Index, voted the #1 ice cream in the world. However, it's frozen custard.